Detroit, 1950s. In the industrial heart of America, a kid was born who would one day become one of the most respected figures in bodybuilding, Ron Love. Growing up in a time of social struggle and limited opportunities for young black men, he learned early on that hard work was the only path to success. At school, surrounded by doubtful looks and low expectations, Ron stood out for his energy and his rare natural talent in every sport he tried. At Denby High School, you couldn't ignore him. While many classmates just wanted to pass the year, Ron aimed higher. He played football, baseball, basketball, and ran track, stacking up wins and respect everywhere he went. His strength, speed, and agility caught the attention of coaches who saw in him a rare kind of potential, something that went beyond the physical, a mix of determination and discipline. Over time, football became his biggest passion. Playing as a wide receiver, it didn't take long before he earned a college athletic scholarship, opening doors few from his community could even dream of. That's where he began shaping the competitive spirit that would follow him for life. The victories on the field taught him the power of persistence and the value of teamwork. But football wasn't the only arena where Ron excelled. On the track, he learned the importance of speed and focus, two qualities that would later define his intense bodybuilding training routines. Every race was a lesson in endurance, pain, and the will to never quit, even when the body wanted to give up. Can you picture that young man, lost in the crowd of Detroit, already dreaming of something bigger? After a youth full of athletic success, Ron Love took a step that many dream about, but few actually take. He turned pro. His talent on the college football fields caught the eye of the NFL, the most prestigious football league in the world. It wasn't long before the Detroit Lions drafted him, turning that local kid into an elite athlete, now playing in front of roaring crowds that cheered every move he made. Wearing the uniform of his hometown team was more than a dream. It was a symbol of personal victory. Ron showed up to every practice and every game with the same drive that had gotten him there. His speed, precision, and strength made him a respected player, a model of professionalism and dedication. He understood that success wasn't just about talent. It was about daily effort, discipline, and the constant pursuit of improvement. Before long, his name started circulating among other franchises, and a new opportunity appeared, a transfer to the legendary San Francisco 49ers. There, Ron kept his reputation as a versatile and dependable athlete, standing out during one of the league's most competitive eras. Playing for the 49ers meant being among the best, and he made the most of it. But Ron's love for sports didn't stop with football. Showing an impressive versatility, he also stepped into professional baseball, further solidifying his image as a complete athlete. His ability to adapt and excel in different sports became one of the trademarks of his life. Where most people saw limits, Ron saw challenges waiting to be conquered. After leaving the fields, Ron Love decided to serve his community in a different way. He became a police officer in Detroit in 1972. With the same drive that had carried him through his sports career, he threw himself into this new mission with courage and discipline. Being a cop in Detroit, a city known at the time for its high crime rates, required both physical and mental strength. Ron was ready for it, but fate had other plans. In 1975, while on duty, he was shot in the leg during an incident. The injury nearly ended both his athletic and police careers. The pain was severe, and doctors even doubted whether he'd ever walk normally again. But what looked like the end turned into the defining turning point of his life. During rehab, Ron began lifting weights to rebuild the strength in his injured leg. And there, between dumbbells and barbells, he discovered something that would change his destiny forever. Every workout became a personal battle, not against criminals anymore, but against his own limits. The physical recovery came with a deep inner transformation. Ron fell in love with the feeling of pushing past pain and realized he'd found a new purpose: bodybuilding. What started as therapy soon became a mission. Fascinated by the results, Ron dove deep into studying high-intensity training, HIIT, that brutal, all-out method built on short, heavy sets performed to absolute failure. It demanded maximum effort, and it fit his warrior mindset perfectly. His body responded fast, packing on muscle mass and definition at an incredible rate. That's when Ron made the boldest move of his life. He left the police force and dedicated himself completely to bodybuilding. Most people thought he'd lost his mind, but Ron saw it differently. This was his chance to prove, once again, that nothing can stop someone with the will to win. With a new passion and an increasingly impressive physique, Ron Love took his first steps into the competitive bodybuilding scene. In 1982, just a few years after trading his badge for barbells, he made his official debut at the NPC Michigan Championships and shocked everyone by winning both his weight class and the overall title. It was the beginning of a new journey marked by sweat, discipline, and pure determination, a true rebirth. That victory in Michigan put him on the radar of coaches and judges across the country. Between 1983 and 1985, Ron's progress was nothing short of explosive. With every contest, his physique became more complete, thicker, more symmetrical, more refined. In 1985, he took home 2 titles that would change his life forever: the NPC Junior USA Overall and the NPC Nationals Heavyweight. Victories that earned him the coveted IFBB Pro card, his golden ticket to the international stage. His pro debut came soon after, and the impact was immediate. At the 1986 IFBB Night of Champions, one of the biggest shows of that era, Ron took second place, leaving the crowd and judges in awe of his balance of size, conditioning, and stage charisma. It was a stunning achievement for a rookie, proving he had what it took to stand among the best in the world. That same year, Ron reached the pinnacle of recognition, his first appearance at the Mr. Olympia, the biggest stage in bodybuilding. Facing titans like Lee Haney and Gaspari, he finished 8th, an incredible result for a debut. For someone who had discovered the sport by accident, it was nothing short of miraculous. Picture the scene: bright lights, a roaring crowd, the most impressive physiques on earth lined up shoulder to shoulder. And there he was, Ron Love, the former Detroit cop, now sharing the stage with legends. After that explosive start, Ron Love cemented his status as one of the most active and respected competitors on the pro circuit. Between 1986 and 1993, he stepped on stage 69 times, an astounding number, even by the standards of that era. Few athletes showed such consistency, dedication, and genuine love for the sport. Ron didn't compete just to win. He competed because he lived for it. His first major professional victory came in 1987, when he won the World Pro Championships, defeating big names and proving his rise was no fluke. From then on, Ron became a regular presence on podiums around the world. In 1989, he took the Niagara Falls Pro Invitational, and in 1991, he claimed the San Jose Pro Invitational, solidifying his reputation as a relentless, top-tier competitor. But his real victories went beyond trophies. Ron had a magnetic stage presence, a charisma that connected with the crowd. Even when he didn't take first place, he was almost always in the top 5 or top 10 at major shows like the Night of Champions, the Arnold Classic, and several European Grand Prix events, battling against icons like Lee Haney, Samir Bannout, and Lee Labrada. What amazed people most, though, was his sheer consistency. Between 1987 and 1991, Ron practically never took a break. He competed in nearly every major show of the season, traveling from country to country, stage to stage, always with the same fire and determination. That pace demanded almost superhuman physical and mental endurance, but Ron treated every event as another chance to push his limits. For Ron Love, training wasn't just a routine, it was a ritual. He believed every drop of sweat spilled in the gym was a step toward becoming better. Following a near-military discipline, he trained 6 days a week, splitting his body into focused sessions and mixing heavy lifting with cardio work. His dedication was so absolute that many described him as the living embodiment of perseverance. Ron followed the classic body part split: arms, chest, back, shoulders, legs, and abs. But he was never a slave to routine. Whenever he felt a muscle group needed extra attention, he'd switch things up, pairing chest and triceps or back and biceps on the same day. That flexibility was one of his greatest weapons. He knew his body inside out and understood exactly how to push it to the edge. Though he was a believer in high-intensity training, Ron also cycled through high-volume phases, constantly changing the stimulus to keep growing. Every workout was a test of endurance, a battle between body and mind. He firmly believed progress only came once you broke through your comfort zone. Fatigue and pain didn't matter. What counted was walking out of the gym knowing you'd given everything you had. When it came to cardio, Ron alternated between steady-state sessions and HIIT, high-intensity interval training, striking a balance between fat burning and conditioning. That approach kept his body stage-ready year-round, even during long competitive seasons. For him, there was no such thing as off-season, just different phases of work. Ron's philosophy was pure old school, no shortcuts, no excuses. He used to say, "The body is just a reflection of the mind. If your mind is weak, your body will never be strong." If training was the body of Ron Love's routine, nutrition was its soul. He knew that no physique, no matter how gifted, could reach the top without clean, precise eating. His meals centered around lean protein sources like grilled chicken, egg whites, and lean cuts of red meat. Every meal had a purpose: to feed muscle growth and keep his body balanced. But Ron also knew that muscle needed more than protein to grow. He loaded up on complex carbs like brown rice, sweet potatoes, and oats to keep his energy steady through brutal workouts and long cardio sessions. Healthy fats, from nuts, olive oil, and avocado, rounded things out, keeping his hormones stable and his body healthy. Fruits and vegetables were non-negotiable on his plate. They helped digestion, supplied fiber, and were his go-to sources of vitamins and minerals, crucial for an athlete pushing his limits every day. Ron used to say that true strength comes from balance, not excess. As for supplements, his mindset stayed the same. Keep it simple. He only used what was essential: protein powder, amino acids, and multivitamins. Always as an addition, never a replacement. No supplement can beat real food, he often said. That lifestyle demanded nearly unbreakable discipline. Ron treated nutrition as an extension of his training, with focus, consistency, and respect. In 1993, after more than a decade competing among the world's best, Ron Love stepped on the Mr. Olympia stage for the last time, finishing 14th. To many, it was just another placing, but to him, it marked the end of an extraordinary chapter. Years of relentless dedication, marked by effort, pain, glory, and above all, passion, had come full circle. Bodybuilding hadn't just shaped his physique, it had shaped his life. Ron never took home a Mr. Olympia or Arnold Classic title, but that never defined him. In fact, it made his legacy even stronger. He became a symbol of consistency, hard work, and love for the craft of sculpting the body. While others chased fame, Ron chased progress, and that mindset turned him into an inspiration for generations of athletes who came after him. His career stood on three pillars: respect, longevity, and sportsmanship. Ron was known for his humility and camaraderie backstage. Always willing to help, to teach, to share what he'd learned, he earned not just trophies, but genuine admiration from everyone who knew him. After retiring, Ron returned to where it all began: Detroit, his hometown. There, he stayed connected to the sport, working as a personal trainer at Powerhouse Gym, the very same gym where a young dreamer had once transformed himself into a legend. Today, he dedicates his time to coaching new athletes, passing down the knowledge and values that kept him grounded through the decades. Ron Love holds a special place in bodybuilding history. He emerged during a pivotal era, when the sport was shifting from the aesthetic lines of the 1970s toward the mass and density that defined the 1980s and 90s. That's why many see him as a bridge between classic and modern bodybuilding. On stage, he stood alongside legends like Lee Haney, Rich Gaspari, and Samir Bannout, athletes who redefined what the ideal physique meant for generations to come. His constant presence on the competition circuit turned him into a true symbol of dedication and consistency. While others came and went after just a few seasons, Ron Love was always there, prepared, disciplined, and true to his purpose. Even without the media spotlight that some of his peers enjoyed, he earned something far more valuable: the genuine respect of fans and bodybuilding historians alike. For many, Ron Love represents the athlete who never let anyone else's spotlight dim his own effort. He didn't need to be the absolute champion to be remembered. All he had to do was step on stage and showcase the result of years of hard work. Every appearance was a silent testimony to perseverance and passion for what he loved. His journey is also a powerful reminder that adversity can be the spark for transformation. The gunshot that nearly ended his police career became the turning point that led him to discover his true calling. Instead of giving up, Ron reinvented himself, proving that a man's strength isn't measured only in muscle, but in his ability to rise again after being knocked down. And that's why, even today, Ron Love's name is spoken with respect and admiration. He wasn't just a competitor. He was an example of character, resilience, and passion. His story makes us reflect. How many times does life push us down unexpected paths? And how often do those twists, just like Ron's, reveal our true greatness? So, we come to the end of Ron Love's journey, a man who turned pain into purpose, discipline into inspiration, and hard work into a legacy that will never fade. His story reminds us that real strength goes far beyond muscle. It's born in the soul, in the courage to keep moving forward even when everything seems lost. If this story inspired you, give this video a like. It's a small but powerful way to show that you want to see more stories like this one. And if you love classic bodybuilding and the legendary athletes who shaped the sport, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Every week, we bring a new story filled with passion, emotion, and the spirit of perseverance that defines true bodybuilding. Want to go even deeper into this world? Become a channel member. Join our growing community. Your presence is what makes all of this possible. Now tell me in the comments, had you heard about Ron Love before? Which part of his story inspired you the most? I love reading your thoughts and hearing your perspectives. That's what keeps this passion for bodybuilding alive and thriving. And before you go, don't miss the video that's about to pop up on your screen. Another incredible story about a legendary athlete who also made history. Click it, stay with us, and let's keep celebrating the strength, discipline, and legacy of the greatest legends in bodybuilding together.